Right, we're going to take a more detailed look at Photo's tone mapping persona. If you haven't yet watched the initial HDR merge tone mapping video, then I would recommend watching that first, just to get a grounding of what we're about to do. So I'm going to create a new HDR merge, go to Add, and add in my bracketed exposure images, automatically choose to tone map and align them. Okay, so far so good. So we've got our basic tone map options here. So I can do the usual increase local contrast, reduce tone compression, although in this case, probably not a good idea. But we can also use overlays for selectively adjusting areas. So if I move to the overlays panel here, we've got the master overlay, which affects the entire image. If I grab, say, the overlay gradient tool, and then click drag to select the tree here, you'll notice we've created a new gradient overlay, which is now selected. So when we move back to the tone map persona, we can selectively adjust just that area. Like so. Perhaps we also might add some curves to this tree. And you'll notice the reason I chose to do this was because tonally the tree was very washed out compared to the rest of the image. So very similar to the develop persona, we can use gradient overlays and brush overlays as well. So we can add a brush overlay and simply, let's say, paint here where a bit of the reflection is blown out, and then we could simply just try and subtly bring that down a tiny bit, like so. And then once we're finished, or we want to go back to editing the overall image, we simply move back to the master overlay, and then any adjustments we make will affect the entire image instead. So that covers using overlays and selectively adjusting areas in the tone mapping persona. But here's something else we can do. If I just go to File, New HDR Merge, and this time I'll add some different images, and this time around I'll uncheck Tone Map HDR Image. Now you'll see what difference this makes. Okay, notice that, unlike before, we're no longer taken automatically to the tone mapping persona. Instead, we're still in the photo persona with the sources panel. Now this is useful for de-ghosting, but we're not actually covering that in this video. What we're going to do instead is pick up the selection brush, and I'll just select the sky like so, then I'll refine the selection. And if I increase the brush width, I just want to draw around the skyline here to refine and matte it. Okay, so then we click apply, and with this refined selection of just the sky, we can move into the tone mapping persona, and we'll end up just applying the tone mapping to the sky. But before we do that, we can actually get rid of the marching ants. We just need to go to View and uncheck Show Pixel Selection. Then our selection is still active, so we can choose the tone mapping persona. And there we go, you'll see we can choose just to tone map our selection, as opposed to the entire image. Okay, so we can click apply, And then we're back to the photo persona. So there we go, just wanted to show you a couple of additional techniques you can use within Photo when you're doing HDR merge and tone mapping. If you have any questions or queries, do ask on the Affinity forums, and don't forget to check out the other video tutorials. Thank you for watching.